Lecture 10, SQL Server Monitoring and Troubleshooting. This is a very large topic of discussion where as a DBA, a lot of activities and responsibilities are there day-to-day basis. So monitoring deals with like what are the activities going on the server, on SQL Server. So any issues going on, you have to proactively monitor that and report and take actions as necessary. And then if anybody, that is one thing, so that is a proactive approach. And if anybody informs that I'm seeing slowness, so on that kind of request you also have to monitor when the activity is going on, and then you have to troubleshoot the issue. So we will see like what are the checklist we have for that. So we can see these topics. These topics were discussed in the class, most of them. So first of all, we will deal with database mail and mail configuration for notification. So whenever you see alert, if you have to do proactive monitoring, for instance, your CPU usage is very high, so you have to set up an alert so that you receive email as a DBA that CPU constantly going high, which is impacting production server activities or performance. So how we can see that? We will check this one first. So this is the email that we are seeing here. It's a test mail. Okay, we have received that from SQL Server to my Gmail address. So in organization you will have Microsoft Outlook and you will have all the emails. So you have inbox there as well in Microsoft Outlook, and you will be able to see any email that comes from SQL Server as notification. So this is one of the notification, and I will show you how to set it up. So we have SQL Server database mail where we need to configure that. So this is SQL Server database mail. I will just right click on the, expand the Management Studio and right click on database mail, and you can configure database mail. Okay, and here there are some options. Create new account. Okay, create new profile. First of all, you will create new profile, and how it will look. Okay, so it will look like this, and you need to provide certain information there. So I already created one, and I'll just show you what will be the information there. So for the profile, so mail profile, there will be profile name, and then there will be an account, like for any notification, which account will be used. Now this account is not when you configure that, you will not see this part because initially you don't create an account first. So once you create account, then it will come in place and you will add that. So let's see how to create account. So this is the account that that we will be able to see. Okay, the information that you need to provide is like a name, account name, and then email address. So now this doesn't have any significance. Like whenever you receive an email, it will just show you this email came from there. Okay, it's like that. And then display name, so test mail will come like that. This is the most key important thing that you need to configure the database mail, that is server name. So I have used Gmail server. For in an organization, you will ask your network support person what is your email server name, and then what is the port number that you use. This two information is required. You don't need to select this because since it is Gmail, so Gmail based on Gmail configuration, I have configured it here. This has to be selected, and authentication has to be given. But in regular organization, you don't need to do all this. Okay, now and they have to tie it up. Once you create that, it will automatically take the account and attach with that. So next part we have, once you create this account is created. So what you have to do, right click on that and send a test mail, and then you put any email address. Okay, and it will go there. It will send an email, and this is what we are seeing here, a test mail we are seeing here. Okay. Now next part. Okay, this is the screenshot that is there to configure Gmail. With the script, you can directly create that. Okay, if you execute this script, so only thing that you need to change here is this two. Okay, this two information you need if you want to select that for Gmail. These are the information that you need, and then once you configure that, okay, once you configure that, you have to go back to that screen again, because the screen will not provide the authentication details, which is this one, this basic authentication. So you have to go back to that screen. So once you run this script, okay, you have to go back to database mail, right click, configure, and then from database mail account, okay, you need to do a view existing account, and once this account comes, you will just select that and then enable this, and that would provide all the information. You have Gmail account, so you will use Gmail and then username and password, and that's it. Okay, this email address, these are for no use. I mean, you don't need to be worried about this email. It will just show on your email alert that this came from this email address. That's it. Okay, configuring database mail. And now the additional statement that is there, this is the statement to grant access and create profile. And if you want to use it, if you have multiple profile, and then you want to use a default profile, this is the statement you can use. If you want to update any statement on a database account, mail account, then this is the way you can use the update statement. That table is on MSDB, sysmail update account SP. So with that you can update the table. So if you want to make any changes on your mail account, you can do that. Initially you will just execute to create the account just up to this, and then this is the email I executed, and it came there as success email job. Now where and how would you use that? It's mostly used for job, SQL Server job. What is SQL Server job? Is like this provides a service that if you want to do any task, you can include that task as a step of your job, and then you can schedule that, and on certain point in time it will get executed. So I have created one job here, test Abu, and then initially when you create that, you have to provide owner name, so your name obviously will come here. You can provide service account, SQL Server service account, or SA you can use, or any Windows account that has access on SQL Server, you can use that. And then this is my statement on steps. You can create steps, right click, and there is a new step here, so you can create new step. So I have created this step, first step, that is only do a select statement, okay, and then here advanced step is there. So if this step is successful, it will go to next step, okay, but you have to create next step first. And if there are any errors on my query or statement, then you have to provide this this output. So it will go to C drive, and this is the log. Okay, so if any error is there, you should be able to see it here. So next step we have is success. So if this one gets succeeded, so this statement will be executed. So what it implies, it will just send out an email to us, okay, including the log, okay, and then we'll be able to see the result there. I'll put the statement here so that you can see it. And once you execute the job, and how will you execute the job? It's like you right click on the job, and this is the schedule. You can schedule that, click on schedule one, and you can just schedule any time, and it will execute. I think I showed it during database backup. So this is the way you can execute it. So you can schedule that, and if you want to just execute it, right click and execute. Right click on it and just start the job. Okay, you can start the job from the step 1. So that is all about the alert and notification and SQL job, how you can do activities there. So SP underscore Who2 active, it's a stored procedure that made by some developers, and that is frequently used by DBAs. So you just need to execute that. This is the stored procedure that is there in the PowerPoint. Okay, and then you just need to execute it, and what it will do. If you click that, you will see all the activity that is running. So let's say if I run a statement here, we will not be able to see because it's so quick, but if long running query is there, then we will be able to see. So let's say for instance we have database. So suppose we are running a large query. This is a big join of 4 tables, and we can see, and query is executing. We want to see what's running right now. So what we will do, we will just click here SP Who2 who is active, and it will tell us this is the query that is running by whom. Okay, and then what is the query, we will be able to see all this. Okay, and then CPU, how much CPU usage is there, and then all other, how much read it has, write it has. So it's just reading, so it's a select statement. And any wait, is it waiting? It's not waiting, it's just going on, it's reading, it's not waiting for anything. So all this information we will be able to get using this query. So for that you have to create the stored procedure and then just run SP Who is active. Another process we have, you don't need to do just anything. SP Who2 active, it will tell you everything about blocking that's going on, what is running, and on that only active process that you will see by users more than 50. So all the activities will come here. So all my queries that I'm running is here, and then if you want to see what exactly query is running, other one will give you direct description of what exactly is running, who is active. So but this you have to, if you want to know what exactly is that, you have to write a dbcc input buffer, and then you need to put the speed, okay, the ID for the process ID. So say 58 we want to see. So it's completed probably statement. So we need to run again. 57 is there now. Or we can see what else are running. So 55 is a select statement that we are running right now. So this is the way you need to identify what is running and who is running and all. SP Who2 active. So what is running, all this information will come here. That includes the program name, from which program it's running. It's running from Management Studio. This tool is Management Studio. Okay, and then CPU usage and disk IO. So if this gets changing, that implies the process is going well. Okay, so its query is still executing, and we will see right now you can see 531 and 461. So if you execute it again, let's see what it says. It's moving. Okay, so if this increase, that implies yeah, I think this one. So if this changes, okay, that implies it's not stopped. So if somebody says like, okay, my query is not running, so you will execute this frequently and check that CPU time and disk IO are changing. If these are changing, then that implies the progress is there. Like SP-Who2 and ASP who is active, we have another script that we can use to see what is running right now. So we will see the first script first. This is the one, and it will have, it's very useful. You can run time to time to see activities are going on. And so let me execute again, and then if you just execute this, you will be able to see more information on that. Okay, and so it's just whatever script you want to use, but you'll understand once the real environment comes. Like this one is very useful for query execution plan. So as you, if I execute that, these are the speeds that are running, and it will give me the execution plan summary. So how the queries are running. So I'll be able to see if this is optimized. So this is a different discussion by itself. How to optimize whenever we see a query execution plan. We will discuss later on that on next class, lecture 11. But to see that this is the way, there is, if we run that for each query, we will be able to see like we are saying here, one query is running right now. So what is the execution plan? Do we need any index or anything? We will be able to know about it. Or if the logic is right. Okay, all this we will be able to know. So this is the query, second one, and this is the execution plan. You can see, and it has all other information, useful information, waiting type. So if a SQL statement is waiting, why it's waiting? Okay, so we need to understand all this, like the waiting type. So each the network, asynchronous network, it has network. If it's waiting for that, that implies it has some network oriented issues or performance. If you see it for a long time, obviously network may have issue. And then this one is disk performance, so it's waiting for the disk performance. As you can see, this has been running for quite long, almost 2 minutes, and then it completed. So these are the information that you can see here. So summary of the waiting type. These are the waiting type you frequently see. CX packet that comes for max degree of parallelism. So it will take a lot of time to discuss about all this, but just look into this document and go through it, and if opportunity comes, we will discuss more about this waiting type. But where will you see the waiting type? Whenever you see what processes are running, you will see here what kind of waiting type we are seeing, current waiting type, and that implies this query is waiting for this. Now, not all the time you will be able to do anything with waiting type, but if it's running for a long time and you are seeing something here, so you need to troubleshoot that. So for instance, page IO latch SH, this is relating to disk performance, disk IOs. This is network related. If you see resource semaphore, which implies there is a memory issue. So on that document you can do some study and then understand a little more about that. Another document we have is like a query status note. When you run SP-Who2, let me kick off again, and this process is running, and then we will run SP-Who2 Who2 active, and then execute that, and here you will see status. Okay, status, especially so suspended, runnable. What are this meaning? So we need to understand. Suspended is like still waiting. Runnable is waiting for some resource, CPU. It's waiting for resources, stuff like that. That's what it represents. So sometimes you will be asked to analyze a query. You will be able to see here what is the status of it and what does that imply in details, like for others. So waiting type, okay. Let me see, this is the same document. I'll upload the right one. The query stat note, okay. If you right click, so what is the meaning of running, okay, suspended, and then query is dormant, okay, or runnable, all whatever it means, query, it will be details about here. Just go through it and try to understand. So as I said, suspended is waiting for resources, runnable it's in running state waiting for CPU. If it's dormant, it's doing nothing. Sleeping state, connection is there but nobody is doing any activity. So all this kind of thing we will be able to see. So we are running this query that will give you a picture about dynamic management view. So what it does is, like you can see these are system tables by Microsoft, and based on that they have created views, system related views. It's a dynamic management view. So what it does is, like it will provide you certain system related information. Let's say DMExec text, so whatever is running it will have that information. So there are several many dynamic management views like this, which will provide you some system oriented information, like let's say for instance, how much CPU is using right now, how much memory, what is the status of the network, all this information, memory status, all this information you can get it from different management views. So I'll share with you one document and that will have all this information about dynamic management view.